BI or Die, the podcast by Reporting Impulse about analytics, dashboards, and business intelligence.
Hello and welcome to our first English episode of our podcast, BI or Die. Well, it is not the real first one. We had a little introductory session before, but now we are exactly digging into the details, into the content, and I'm very excited that Viktoria is again my co-host and is with me today. So, hello Viktoria.
Hello Kai, hello everyone.
How are you doing today?
Good. Looking forward of our session today. Yeah, fine, and you?
Yeah, I'm fine as well. Had a quite nice day so far, and now we're recording in the evening. So yeah, it's a quite packed day, but we will have our first episode afterwards. So I'm very, very happy.
Sounds great.
I mean, the frequent listeners might have noticed that already, that I started introducing that podcast. So it was on me to prepare 5 challenging questions for you. So, I mean, the hard work today is actually on your side. And I also only need to, formulate 5 questions and just do a bit, ooh, really? And stuff like that. That's,
I'm sure you're kind with me asking questions. No.
So the first one, I think it's an easy one to get started with. Question you probably heard of quite often, especially in your projects. So when BI projects fail, what are the most common reasons?
Good question.
Thank you.
Good choice. It's one you asked already. You only were asked Andreas.
Oh, no. It was my own question. Huh?
Oh, okay. So the common reasons why projects fail or by BI projects fail. I think there are 2 levels. You have the subject level, so where it really depends on content or if something did not work, and then the personal level. You're like, I don't like you. Doing the podcast is not so cool with you, and doing a project with somebody. So during a project with somebody I don't like or I don't trust in their competences is quite hard. And I think this is the most reason why projects fail. So you have 2 departments, either a business department and IT department. I don't know exactly as a business what the IT is doing, and I don't trust them. So it takes me too long. I don't trust in their competences, choosing the right BI tool, for example. And then that makes a project hard and fail. I had that one day where we, this was not the BI department, but it was in accounting and the controlling department. Okay. And we tried to harmonize their BI processes. And this was really hard because they didn't talk the same language. They had not the same numbers reporting to their CFO. And they thought they were right. And there were some personal sentiments coming up. And it took us a long time to say, okay, you both have the right here in the project, and it's okay what you're saying, and you have your view on that, and this is a professional view, but just with another direction. And when we accepted that,
I think that's often your role, right? Really to harmonize between different parts, or just to be kind of a moderator, really to translate from A to B and building the bridges a bit between the 2 of them. And I think this is really the perfect job you can do. So it's really, really interesting how you usually deal with those differences. And I also observed, I really like your splitting, to say, well, although we're dealing with BI projects and they're always kind of technology based, often the delays or the failures are not caused by the technology, but rather by the mismanagement or the people issues or the missing change management, however you would call it. I think this is very, very interesting to observe. Although we're really in this technology field, it's more or less still a people thing you need to think of.
Yes, you have on the other side the subject related one. So it might be that you did not take your end users into account in an early stage. What I think is really, really important in BI project that you, and that is your job most of the time, that you have a look in who is your target group, who wants to get or who wants to have these reports or this planning. Why do I need that? How do I want to communicate? And sometimes if you do not do that, and that's more often the case when it's IT driven or IT driven project, that you develop a great solution and then you come back to your end users and they say, okay, I don't need that. What is this? And then you said, okay, I go back home and do all my work again. And that's something I think is really important. So I think your job is really important to go into that and do a deep dive with the end users to get this understanding on the final solution and what the final solution should perform. So sometimes you know these kind of situations when you say, oh yeah, I want to have a dashboard with a lot of market data in it and it should be visualized like this and like that. You say, oh yeah, sounds good. And which kind of external market data do you use? And they say, oh no, we don't have at the moment external market data. And you say, okay, we wanted to implement a BI tool, but we did not want to have new external data connected, or it's not at the moment part of our project of which we are thinking. And these are kind of questions which might bring fail with it on a subject level.
Yeah, definitely really to and that's why I really like this kind of paper prototyping stuff, to say to visualize it at a very early stage, not only what you like to have in a dashboard, but also in this respect, think about the data, what's lying behind. So this is just the combination. On the one hand, okay, you need to think about what's the storyline within your dashboard. How would you like to navigate, and what are the different levels of interaction and the level of data, but also really to think, okay, is the data already available? What did I need to do to get the data available in my warehouse, or what are the action points I need to take with? And also, you already, I think you touched that point, it's a lot about communication. I mean, you said, okay, here's my dashboard, and they are then confusing. Well, no, it's not the solution we thought of. I think it's always how you communicate it and how you really, let's say, make good enough marketing for what you've achieved. I mean, maybe the perfect solution is never been done. That's for sure. But it's also the way how you, let's say, market it could be somehow that they have a higher degree of acceptance. So it's both, I think. Yeah, of course you need this prototyping and really keep track of the end users right from the beginning, but also think about, let's say, your communication strategy, that the people really get aware of the advantages. Of course, there might be disadvantages, but that you really say, well, that is what we achieved so far. Maybe there are other aspects we need to improve, but look, this was what happened before. Maybe you only have an Excel spreadsheet, and now you have your first dashboard, your first tiles, your first whatever. So really to making the people aware of that. And yeah, do good and talk about it. This is a nice sentence, I think, from one of our former colleagues. She always said that. Not just think, well, I did a great dashboard and I just wait until someone is saying, well, that was the best dashboard I ever seen, or the best project. It's definitely also your task to talk about it and to market it within your company.
I would even go a step further and say, if you have a great or good marketing story, they have the feeling that they are part of this dashboarding or this creation process. And I think this is the combination of what you said, communication, marketing, and taking them into account. And if you take all these three aspects together, it's really that the end user has the feeling it's my dashboard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's these people management at the end of the day. It's still pretty close. And maybe just again coming back to the initial question, if you need to clearly state one reason of failure, or the number one reason for failure, what would you say? What is, from your experience, the number one reason? Or make it a bit more flexible, top three. Let's say top three.
Okay. Top one, you have a person who's a key player and is not interested at all in the solution and has his own targets which do not match with your project. And I think it's really the most important. Then on the subject level, that there's one person thinking about the solution, but it's the solution for a lot of people and not taking other opinions into account. So it's a one person solution and not discussed. So this is what we said before: no communication, no marketing, and no taking into account. I think top two, and then
top two.
Three. Take the wrong consultant. Have no idea of what they do. Maybe.
Okay, so not having the right consultant. Yeah, but I mean, that's the ecosystem overall. That's also important, having the right people at the right time. But yeah, this is very, very clear. So let's go to number two. What is the best project management method for BI project? Agile or waterfall?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm really in an agile environment, but somewhere in my heart is some waterfalling. Why that? Maybe an explanation. When I started my career, like some years ago.
Okay.
Feeling like yesterday, no.
25 now.
It was really like
still you look like it would be yesterday, or it was yesterday, so
that's what I was waiting for, you know.
This was I thought
it took a little bit long.
It was a little delay, but I thought, okay, I give you that. I mean,
thank you. No, when I started my career, it was a waterfall time. So we did specification. It took us months to writing that down, to defining it, and then during the project, it took us weeks to document all the change requests. So if you wanted to adapt something, what you have written down in your specifications, you need a change request, you need to discuss that, then we do that, we rewrite it, and then you implemented it. This was okay when you had not such a changing working environment, so you knew in the beginning what you wanted to have in the end. But when you now listen to me, when it's now the case, do you really know when you talk to people, do they know what they want to have?
Usually it's not the case.
Yeah. Have you ever designed or talked to people that they know exactly what they want, and then after implementing, you have exactly that solution? What they talk.
I mean, it also depends to the time between asking them the first time and providing the solution. If there's 1 or 2 years, then they might have dramatically changed. If you're fast enough, then it might be close to what they answered in the beginning. But yeah, you're totally right. And I also remember, in this case, I remembered in fact a discussion together with Andreas, also saying, okay, what are the disadvantages of Agile or waterfall, and in that situation, I came to one quote, a quite famous one from Mike Tyson. I try to use that again.
I remember this episode, I think.
Yeah, you remember that? And now I need to translate it somehow. But I think everybody, it sounds like everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth or something. So maybe it's a little misused, but yeah, it's definitely the case. If everything is going right according to your plan, you're not necessary to be flexible to adapt it. Okay, that's a good reason to go for the waterfall, but yeah, maybe later on we can also discuss disadvantage of Agile, because I'm not a total friend saying waterfall is completely wrong and Scrum or Agile approaches are the best ever seen methodology for projects. But maybe that's on your agenda as well, or your thoughts.
Yeah, for me, completely. When I talked to Richard, for example, my colleague in our company, he was always a really big fan of Agile, but he's coming especially from the IT development, and I think this is a part where Agile is really, really good working. But when you look and if you talk to business deciders and especially huge companies, most organizations, they're still thinking, and I think it's normal or natural that they think in the big picture of milestone, budgets, and this is still a waterfall thinking. And then now I think the important or the interesting thing is to combine these two. So this waterfall thinking on the management level, and on the other side, the really good working Agile mindset on the operational level, where you develop your solutions and you adapt what you want to see, but you still have these waterfall thinking on top. And what I really like there is Prince 2 Agile. I don't know if you know that I'm not a big fan in following Scrum or Prince 2 Agile or whatever, but taking some of their ideas and what they provide and how they work out, especially they're having this waterfallish thinking on the management level, and this Agile mindset on the operational level that I really, really like.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's also what makes a really advanced and experienced person or project person, really to have this ability to critically challenge or maybe also adapt or combine different approaches, making your own and really the one that's fitting in a best possible manner to this project environment. So really to have this instinct for the situation, and also, let's say, the flexibility to adapt. I think this is then you're really advanced and experienced. And if you have this dogmatic approach and following just blind, I think that's not really a good thing. So at some degree, I think I like to compare it with people really making fun of the bar chart. Not the bar chart, the pie chart. Yeah, this is often the case. But if you really think about this pie chart, there are situations where it's really a good visualization type.
That makes me, it's one of my questions I wanted to ask you one day. It's why is the pie chart not good?
We can discuss that in one of the sessions where you're asking the questions. Definitely. No. So I think this critical thinking and being flexible in different solutions, that's what you need. And also I think thinking about disadvantages of such a Agile system or Scrum, or there's always kind of an overhead. You're stuck into meetings, or you collect or correct this ticketing stuff or whatever. And at the end of the day, there's no time for implementation. And at the end of the day, we need to lead our projects to faster deliverables, to really speed up the project. And for that reason, we need this Agile environment, Agile mindset, that's for sure. But we also need to be aware, okay, where can we define our overall goal? And in case that's on the management level, rather thinking on milestones or project deliverables or whatever, I think it's really not the wrong case to think about this waterfall idea as well, or a combination, a hybrid approach probably.
Very, very good there.
Okay. So, but also quite a funniest thing, number 3. I'm really interested in your opinion about that, because Andreas also have he's getting into this topic and really disagreeing and complaining. But I like to ask you that question. So, who should lead a BI project? Business department or IT?
Okay, Andreas, I hope I don't say something wrong, and then we maybe discuss that
maybe
later
it's
on.
the way that I now here do the separation between business and IT. He always complains about that issue, so saying, well, there should not be this separation. They're all one. They need to think about their strength and just not doing politics, but just working together. And there's just no need for this artificial separation between business and IT.
Okay.
So that's why
okay. So most of the things I'm okay with you, Andreas here. I think you have these I have this question so often, and and the thinking is still, I'm a business person. I want to do that. I'm an IT person, and we do that in our company as well. So I'm more the business type, and Richard, for example, is more the IT guy. And
so who's the better one then?
And I think this is the quick answer to that. I think it doesn't matter which department the BI lead or the project lead comes from. It's important that the person has a good understanding of both sides and can translate. So if you're coming from the business part, that does not mean that you have knowledge in the programming in any programming languages, but that, or on the other side, that the IT manager has to have driven some marketing campaigns. But he should, if he's coming from the business side, from, for example, like me, you should be aware of how a BI tool is working. So if you, for example, take your requirements for a BI implementation of a BI solution, and you write down your user stories without any knowledge how a BI tool can work, it's harder to translate. You can do that in the beginning. You can do it in the business. It's often the case that you start with the user stories without any ideas, but then at one point you have to translate. And this translation, I think this is important, that the BI project manager or this project lead understands what happens there in this translation, and can, if you have conflicts there, in having an IT guy or a business guy talking and see that they don't understand each other, that he can see that he understands what's the problem and can translate. So
yeah, that's true. I think we often observe that in our project, that if that's an external person really doing the translation, this is maybe a more neutral way, and then afterwards, after it was for once done by an external, we always observe that then there is not these gaps anymore between IT and business. They once feel, oh, well, together we can really achieve more, and
yes.
The project success is, at the end of the day, the money or the achievements, but what counts. So, but yeah, at some point we need this trigger. And I often observe that if it's coming from outside and you make this neutral, you're not, all sides are not wrong, but we are now bringing you together, and then in the continuous process, it works really perfect.
Yeah, I think it's just they're too polite to not listening to you. So they listen to you and they take the time to do a workshop, to work out what the things are. And then there we come back to one of the first questions. You increase the trust in each other, and you see that the other person, is developing quite a good solution, and you get an understanding. You could not do their jobs, but you understand a little bit more how it works, and this works quite often more easy with an external person, where you see, okay, he's an expert in that, and he's saying he's doing a good job because he checked what he was doing, and he has not another opinion. It's easier to trust and to take the time.
Yes, I totally agree. Number 4. In that way, it's a funny question, because we're at the moment having a joint project, and you did actually this first part. So yeah, maybe you can also answer how you actually did that. How do you think companies find the right BI software?
I think there's no right way. I think you have a lot of different ways coming to.
Typical answer: it depends.
It depends. As you like, you like my
like
English
or something.
It depends. It really depends, or it's the consulting answer. Not saying right or wrong.
True.
Yeah.
Let me make a concept for that. No, I know.
No, we're more agile working. We
need a workshop for that. We need a workshop.
Yeah, that's good. But coming back to your question,
sure, sorry.
I think there are a lot of different ways coming to your right BI solution. I say because you have to get a good feeling with the BI solution, and I think there are some important things to find a BI solution or the right BI solution is that you see your requirements and you talk to the people who are going to use that on one side, who are working with them with it in the business side, and understanding what the really important requirements are. You know, this feature list, no? And then you say, oh, that's important. Oh, yes, I like this as well, and I like this. But you really get the main points out of it because, when you take the feature list, everything is important. And on the other side, having the IT with you, how does a BI solution fit in your existing IT or future IT infrastructure? So if you get these 2 points and you do some workshops writing the most important things down, and now you can do it in, like I said, in 2 workshops, and then it's important to see some of the solutions so that you can feel them, because then the feature list and everything in the list, oh yeah, this software can that, makes not the sentiment which you have when you see and you really are working hands-on with the software. I think if you have starting with the requirements, coming then to the presentation where you get a quick introduction and some of the solution, and say, okay, I see my requirements are working with this solution, and this solution, but I like from the feeling the 2 first one at most. Let's work with that hands-on. That can work quite quickly, and you can do it with the sentiment. And then on the other hand, especially in huge company, it's okay to have this feature-based approach where you have your catalogs and you decide on a base of feature-based. It's okay as well. I think in the end, it's important that the people who decide have the feeling that's the right solution for their problems, and then it's important that they decide for that. And then I have never seen an BI tool that is perfect. So you always have afterwards the feeling in the project and said, oh, maybe I've seen another tool and this has this, and this maybe could have been better than the ones we choose. And if you never took this decision and you're still hanging between the shares, you're talking a lot of what would have been if we would have chosen the other one. And I think this is something.
But is it really possible? I mean, if I think about the top 5 BI tools, more or less maybe for the front end perspective, there are, let's say, the Bug BI score or the Gartner Magic Quadrant. So there are companies who made decisions on that and give at least recommendations, guidance. If you're really referring to those tools, is that really a possibility to make something wrong, or do you think still you need this? I mean, what you contrast is, I mean, just go for the gut feeling somehow, straightforward, easy, simple decision making, and then just go for it and say, well, this is it, and we will experience it, or just making this feature collection stuff, right? Or did I misunderstood you?
No, I think you can do both. It really depends that you take the decision. I'm completely with you. If you take one of the top tools, your project will not completely fail, or it will not completely fail because of the solution of the BI tool. But you should have a look at the most important things and then decide. And what are the most important things, and how you your inner project or your inner company project is. Often people have to have the feeling that if one day in 2 years something is not working with your BI software, and someone is coming back to you and saying, why did you choose this software? They need, I have my paper here, and we did this, and you see in this point people were thinking that, and this gives a feeling of security, and I understand that, and sometimes I thought, why do they need the next level? Do we really need to get deeper? You have 2 good solutions. Just decide whatever you want. You're not doing a mistake. But it's the feeling and the security feeling which is important. And
I mean, if we're thinking about larger corporations, this security might be also your backbone for having a more advanced career, or if you remain on your current position. So I think it's often the case that saying, okay, I did it in a correct way, I collected all the features, and just making all the check marks, and so I'm fine, especially with regard to your career at some degree. But so I was also thinking about the question, if you consider these 2 contrasts, what would your personal decision if you are, let's say, a leading position, BI or business in a larger corporation? What would you choose?
The way in between. I think I'm the secure guy, so I would be sure that I have some kind of documentation that nobody can come to me and say, you just took it because you like the notes of the sales guy and you have not taken the right points into account. But I think I would come quite quickly to the point. What are the main features? I think there I would take some time to really get the points, and then really go quickly into the decision for two tools, go into that and get a good feeling where the users, where the IT has a good feeling of how it works. And then the price is always something you should have in the end two solutions, because then it's easier. If you still think, okay, both are quite okay, then let the price decide.
Yeah, sure. Or when I thought about this question, I also thought, well, what would my idea, or what would be my answer? And I would just say, maybe just select SAP. That's it. No documentation necessary. You can always argue, well, if you decide towards such a large corporation, you probably are on the safe side if you're very secure, or make the documentation and then select SAP. Then you're
Are you doing advertising for our next?
No, I'm not advertising. I mean, that's often the case.
Yeah, you're right.
People are struggling, and they say, well, be secure, think of your career, making good decisions. It would be a possible way.
We call it SAP strategy.
I'm not in a larger corporation. I don't have to do that, so I'm happy to do my own decisions. But if you're really focusing on security and decisions that are, let's say, somehow documented in a proper way, that might be an option. But anyways, maybe we switch to our last question, and this is less political, but I really find it very, very interesting, and also have a huge respect for what you've achieved so far. I mean, you're a BI consultant, you're founder of your own company, you're mother of 2 children. How does that work, actually?
Funny that you're saying it's not so political.
Okay, it's not so political in the way that you asked me, okay, do you advertise for any software company, or do you advertise for any, I don't know, woman magazine? No.
Okay, now a good question, and that's really something I'm often asked. I've been doing a lot of recruiting since my start of the career, so I was talking especially often to young women about this subject, and I can talk hours about that. So stop me somewhere.
Okay, we don't have so much time. Maybe I should choose another. Well, yeah, you can do a condensed way, and then we.
Okay, so really quick way. Yes, BI consultant and 2 children, a founder, and all the stuff you said works. Sometimes easily, sometimes with a lot of effort. So enough, or do I have still a minute?
You have so many minutes you like.
No, I think
it's an important question, so take the time you want.
Yeah, it's really important. I love my 2 daughters, and I love my job. So on the one hand, I always wanted to spend time with my family, and I didn't get my children to put them in the nursery and then picking them up at 6 o'clock in the evening and bringing them to bed, and then not spending time with them.
Recording podcast at 10
yeah,
o'clock.
But that's really the thing. On the other hand, I want to create a best solution, and I want to do this kind of stuff. But this is not working most of the time in a 9-to-5 job or the both combination. But with the support of a great team and people like you, being flexible and starting this kind of sessions in the evening, it works out, and it makes things to be combined in a good way. I cannot separate them. So my children often see me on the phone, and clients know me, and I say, oh yeah, I'm here with the 2 background singers. But is it important then we talk about that? So I answer the phone even if I'm in my family time, because I know things are important. And when my colleagues call and they have a problem, then we go through that. And to be honest, in the beginning, I really felt bad sometimes when you see or some other mothers being at home. But then one day I was talking to a friend, and I realized that it's a good thing when children see that work is part of life, and that you love your job. So it's not they go to school and then one day they have to work, and but you can love your job and you still can love your family and combine that. So
yeah, definitely. I think also both parts, the business and the family part, I think they also play an important role for your overall happiness, because if you're not in balance at some degree, I think this could be also not very comfortable. I mean, just spending time only with your family might also be somehow that you lost contact to your job, which is also important for you. So yeah, of course it's a challenge. I think it requires a lot of discipline and teamwork. You mentioned teamwork with your husband, teamwork with all other in your ecosystem around, so that they know how to deal with that. And also I think really a strong will. So I'm really fascinated about being a successful founder, consultant, and mother, and somehow integrating all that into your life. So yeah, chapeau again.
Thank you. But what I wanted to mention maybe is to the mothers, working moms out there here. One time somebody is listening to me, hopefully. I think it's important really to be proud of that you manage all this, and to talk about that and to support each other with your family, but on the other side with other families, with other working moms. So that you pick up the children of each other, and sometimes even talking about your job and doing business together. True and funny story. My last project I got thanks to chit chat with a nursery mom. So that can work out if you are just saying, okay, yeah, I combine the 2 things, and it's not completely separated. But I think it's a decision you have to take, and if you don't want that, it's completely fine as well. So no wrong or right here, just my way.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's a great and important point. So we're not really forcing anyone in the direction, only the combination of a successful business plus being a mother or whatever is the right way. I mean, everyone has to decide on his own what's his personal path he like to go. And so, yeah, but I think as you mentioned it working out the right BI software, you need to do your own decision and then accept all the advantages and disadvantages and go it directly. And hopefully that's the way for you. And of course, it's still adaptable in some degree. So again, not a waterfall, right?
We're coming back to our questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this it is. It was our first English recording of BI or Die. Thanks a lot. I mean, again, I like to motivate all listeners to ask your question, connect with us on LinkedIn or any other social network. Write us your questions, and also we will have different guests in our podcast. So if you like to have special guests, just note that to us, and we try to do our best possible to get them in our podcast as well. And now the last words again remain to my lovely co-host.
Looking forward to my questions.
Ooh. Okay, then see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to BI or Die, a podcast by Reporting Impulse. If you enjoy our content, please press the like button and subscribe to our podcast so you do not miss another episode. See you next time.